Hi everybody, this is a video to show you how to take through Design Space the new SVG to cut a grazing box which holds 3 4-ounce deli pots and which has 6 compartments, 3 on either side of it for snacks to dip in or whatever. So I'll just add it to canvas. There we are, reduced down a bit. Okay, so the first job, as usual with any multi-part SVG that you bring into Design Space which has score lines, is you've got to convert those lines that come in as cuts which actually need to be scores. We can't make them come in as scores. So if an SVG like this, multi-part with score lines, has been saved correctly, it should come in 3 groups. There'll be the overall group, which has everything in it, and then within that group there'll be 2 little subgroups, and ideally they should be split so that all the lines that need converting to scores are in one and all the cut pieces are in another. So to select the score lines, just click on the name of that first subgroup. It's the second line down in your layers panel, and then go over to the operations menu, click on where it says basic cut and go down to score. And you can see that those lines have been converted to scores now. Excuse me. And while they're still selected, you need to go back over to your layers panel and choose ungroup from the top. I'm using the desktop version for PC. If you're using the mobile app, these commands are going to be somewhere different, probably along the bottom of your window, but that's the name of the command you're looking for anyway. So the second step is to select the subgroup that has all the cut pieces in it. Again, you're just going to click on the name of it and then go up to ungroup again at the top. And the third step is to select absolutely everything on screen. You can do that in a few different ways. You can use the select all button. You can drag a box to select everything, or if you want to stay working in your layers panel, you can just click on the name of that final group that everything is still in and click ungroup once more. So now you can see all those little downward pointing arrows have disappeared. So now everything is a separate piece. We can go ahead and attach the score lines to each individual piece that they relate to. It's really important that you do it piece by piece and not the whole SVG, or you'll end up with a project which is too big to cut and you'll get a message from Design Space that the project is not compatible with your machine. Quickest way to do that, I think, is to click on canvas somewhere near a piece, drag a box to enclose it roughly, and click attach from the bottom of the layers panel on desktop. It'll be somewhere else on your app, and do that for every piece on screen that has score lines. And for this project, that's absolutely everything apart from this acetate piece, which is the little piece of the PVC or acetate that makes the window. You do get a PDF of really detailed instructions showing you how to take this, how to assemble the box. You don't need to remember anything I'm saying here because it will all be repeated in there. Oh, I just attached those together, didn't I? Which I shouldn't have done. Each one. It's really important that we do those separately because we don't use them both. I will explain that in a moment. Right, so with this SVG, you get the box base, which is common to whatever version of it you're going to make. You get the insert for the, that's not attached, look. You get the insert for the pots, which is also common to whichever version you're going to make. You get 2 versions of lid if you decide you're going to make the box with the lid. You get one with, what have I done there? You get one with no window and you get one with a window. And if you use the window one, as I said before, you need to cut that little piece of acetate or PVC. You get 2 different kinds of compartments. So this box goes together so it has the pots in the middle and then 3 little compartments above and below it. And if you're going to make the box with the lid, you've got to use the compartments that are a little bit shallower. They're just box height, as you can see. They fit within the height of the box. That's the wall of the compartment there. This one is if you're not going to use the box with a lid and you want to make a bit more of a feature of the compartments and have them standing taller and slightly outside the box, and you can put a bit more food in those. But that's only if you're going to make the one without the lid. The lid won't fit on if you use the taller compartments. Right. So if I was making this, I would do all the work to create any kind of box I wanted to make, and then I would save it as a project. So I think we'll go ahead and do that now. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I actually have changed this on the SVG now, but I just must not have, I mustn't be working on the new SVG, the fool. All these are the same colour in the SVG that you're going to get, so you don't need to do what I've just done, so don't worry about that. The reason they need to be all the same is because chances are you're going to make the base and the inserts and the compartments out of the same stuff. If you don't, it's easy to change, but that's what I'm going to do, so I just need all those to be the same colour. So we'll just put those over there for now. Oh, for goodness sake, Judith, attach that. There we are. Is that attached? Yes, it is. Okay, so we'll just pop the base over there for now. So with these, I've also turned this round on the SVG so they come in tall, because I think maybe they fit together. So, well, what we'll do is we'll just duplicate these. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because you need 6, whichever one you're using, you need 6 of it. 1, 2, 4, 6. I'm using Control D on my keyboard there to duplicate that. The duplicate button is up here if you didn't know. Right, let me think. So, let's just say that for now we're making the box with the shorter inserts and a window lid. So I'm just going to take off the canvas for now, those tall inserts and the solid lid. So we'll press make it and we'll see what happens, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. So the acetate, obviously, I always try and keep the windows under A4 because I can't find acetate cheaply in any bigger sheet size. So piece of letter or A4 for that and you'll be fine. These, we can choose A3, but look what happens. You get hardly anything on a mat, and it tells you you need lots and lots of sheets. And that's the lid. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm just going to go back to the canvas, and when I set mine up, I do it like this. I put 4 in a cross shape, and then I attach them, and they will fit on an A3. I mean, you'd get... Let's have a look. No. But what happens if you do that? 414. Do you know, it depends how keen you are on saving card. I'm really keen. So I always spend a little bit of time moving things together, making them so that they cut as economically as they possibly can. So if I were making this again, if I didn't already have 5 of them sitting on my bench, that's what I'd do. I'd put those 5 in that arrangement and I would send that to cut on an A3. This, let's have a look. Yeah, it's 31, so it's got to go portrait on an A3 as that, and it's 28.28 wide, so it absolutely can. Will that fit? No. Right, so yeah, you don't need to faff around with that. Let's just detach that because you're going to need another sheet anyway. So we will take that one. That's going to be on its own. Those 4 are going to be on an A3 on their own, and then you're going to put that back tall. I mean, they'd actually cut from a 12 by 12, would that? No, no. You really do need the long mat and the A3 for this project, so you may as well just go the whole hog and get yourself some A3 paper or tabloid or ledger if you're in the US, or poster board, whatever you want. But you can't get this out of 12 by 12. I'm going to make some other smaller boxes and they will cut from 12 by 12, and I'm also going to make some bigger ones as well, but this particular one, 3-pot, 6 compartment, you need a long mat and A3. So let's just send that. I've attached those, haven't I? Yeah. So now if we send it, we need 1 sheet of A4 acetate. We can select A3 for the box base. Those 2 are also on A3. This is the lid. Now, I'm just going to go back again to the canvas and show you. This is 31.7 by 28.65 deep. So if we rotate it that way, oops a daisy, it's definitely within the width of an A3, which is 297 millimeters. But of course, Design Space takes its margins off that, doesn't it? So we're not going to worry about those. We've talked about those. It's this one. So even though it won't let you select A3, don't worry about it. Just send it on the long mat through your machine on the long mat. Put A3 on your mat as you would normally, and it will cut. I've cut 5 boxes and I've cut them all the lids out of A3. It works perfectly. If you're concerned at all, when you put your A3 paper on your mat, just put it maybe 2 millimeters away from that very first grid line on your mat to just allow you a tiny bit more space at this side. But really, it cuts well. I'm just looking at the paper that I've cut mine from now, and I've got easily a 5mm margin of waste card at either side. So don't worry about the fact that you can't pick A3. Just send A3 through on your long mat and it will cut perfectly. Right, I'm not going to cut that, so I'll cancel. So that was if we were using the lower inserts because we're cutting a lid. So I'm just going to bring everything back in that we got rid of before. Just do undo until we get back to the point where we'd got all the pieces and we were ready to choose. Come on. Is it going to let me do it? Do you know, I think they've reduced the number of undos. Right, don't worry. I'm going to bring it in again. And I'm actually going to bring in the one that you'll be getting, which is that one. Yep. So just very quickly again, select that layer with the score lines, convert them to score and ungroup. Select all the cut pieces and ungroup. Select the whole SVG and ungroup. And then we attach, and for speed I'm going to use Alt A on my keyboard. Just attaching the score lines here as I showed you earlier on. Okay, so we've already made a box using a lid and these shallower wall height compartments. So for the purpose of the next demonstration, I'm getting rid of the lids and I'm getting rid of that shallower compartment, and they're all attached out there now. Yeah. So this is common, as I said before, to whatever box you're making. Of course, the bases, and these are the deeper compartments now, which you will use. They've also got slightly more rounded decorative edges. So you might want to cut these out of something patterned actually, because they're going to peep out of your box. They'd look really nice done in that gingham paper, wouldn't they? Really like a little party box. So we need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just the same. And let's see how these go together. Again, we know we've got to use the long mat, so we're going to use A3. They won't fit on 12 by 12. How wide are they? Yeah, they're too big. You can't go side by side, so let's try interlocking them. If we put 3 in that arrangement, yeah, 28.1 by 36.43. I'm going to attach that. I'm going to get rid of those, and I'm going to duplicate that. So I've got 2 A3s there, and now this, again, we know it's got to go that way around. Did we decide that was going to be too big? We did, didn't we? I hate it when it just won't quite work, but I don't think I can make that any better. I'm just gonna try. How long is that if you put 4 like that? Curses. It's just too long. What a shame. Yeah, so to make this box, no lid and the deeper compartments, let's see what we need. I think we're going to need 3 A3s, unfortunately. So I'm going to choose A3 there. Oh, I didn't attach those, so I'll just show you what else you can do. Click on those, go to the mat, click on the three dots, click Move Object, and we're going to put them on that mat there with those because we know that it'll just slot in there. So I've got one A3 there of compartments, another A3 there of compartments, another A3 there for the base, and then the insert actually would cut from A4. So to make the box with just compartments, I'm going to go back to the canvas and I'm going to attach those. They're already attached, aren't they? Yeah, try again. An A3 of compartments, another A3 of three compartments, another one for the box base, and this one will go on A4. I don't know why it switched everything then. Yeah, so okay, so for the grazing box, which is open with three deeper compartments either side of the pot tray, you need three A3s and one A4 for the insert. So I mean, you could make, to make it look really party, like a party box, you could use all sorts of different colours for these, and you could, I mean, let's even, obviously, if we detach those, no, I was wondering if you might get those on an A4, but you won't. No, no, no. So yeah, it's got to be even for these bits. I mean, you could cut one on an A4, but you probably don't want to do that, really, do you? Let's have a look. Let's try it that way around. Yeah, if you want to really faff around, you can get. Have a look. Ah, 2 on a 12 by 12. If you decide you want to make those out of some of the pretty pattern cardstock that we can get in 12 by 12, yeah, you'd need 3 sheets of 12 by 12 for those, another one for that, and then an A3 for the base. I think I've rambled on a bit there, which I think for people who don't want to save paper like I do must be really boring, so I apologise for that. Um, when you come to build it or cut it, if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. The links to do that are in the description below. You can contact me on Etsy or Facebook, whichever you prefer. And if you just stumbled across this video and you'd like to buy the grazing box SVG, the link to do that is also in the description below. Sorry for banging on a bit at the end there. Thanks a lot. Bye.